what y'all doing out there? I'm over here in a technical mess. Feel like Bishop is still on the show. Let's see here. I hope y'all can hear me. I have my Instagram going, and man, it was just okay. She's still up. Okay, just making sure Instagram's still working over here. How's everybody doing this evening? I want to make sure that everything's going okay, because I don't know if I can hear if y'all can hear me. I think I messed something up. Because I can't hear my music. Hey, Miss Holly. How are you doing? What did we do here, Mal? I went to pushing buttons. Hey. I want to make sure everybody can hear me this evening. Oh, there we go. Yes, indeed. I had to have my music. Let's see who is in the room. Hey, brother. Brother John. Yes. Thank you, sir, for showing up. Miss Deidre. Yes. All on the East Coast. Hey, Miss Gwen. Christopher. We know when the people's here. And Mr. Ruben. I know a lot of people on here knows who's on here, but if we get any guests or people, make sure y'all, greet them with a warm welcome. Hey, Miss Winston, thank you so much. This is going to be a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful evening. It's going to be a powerful evening. As you see, I posted it, but I want to show you, of course, with the lineup that we have for this month. I'm kind of proud of myself because, I'm like, you know what? I finally got this fully, I know what's going on. And I got people showing up and people coming out. So we got Miss LaDonna this evening. Next week, Christian A. Smith. The following week, Mike Williams with The Cult of Christianity. And the following week, Archbishop John H. Lewis, more on the Eastern Orthodox African, with a little bit of a bunch of other. He's been doing the spiritual thing since 1960. Somewhere around there. He's going to call me and be like, no, you said it wrong. Listen, we know you're amazing. That's all. You expanded and expanding. All right, brother. Yeah, man. How is Canada treating you, doctor? Hey, we got a doctor in the room. And I ain't talking about like one of those street doctors. My brother actually is a real physician. Hey, what's up, Mr. Don Jackson? I hope LA is treating you well. It's great to have you all in here. We're gonna get this show on the road because this is about to be fire. Man, it's gonna be fire. I'm gonna just tell you like this, man. It's community building, and where we're going is 100% what we need in the world today. And as I believe within our community, it's not just a group of individual people that are just lay folk. I don't attract lay people. So if you feel like you're a lay person in the room this evening, like you just want to step in the room and just be like, yeah, I just went to something. This is not a church. Listen, my people do things, right? The people in this community, yeah, we are active. We are in the business, right? I got authors, doctors, musicians, music. This conscious community stuff is no longer just some things we're doing on the side for fun, because what we're about to witness right now with Miss LaDonna Cox is that she's a pastor and coach, expanded, inclusive, all the good words, and she's in Phoenix, Arizona, and she has a wonderful. If you go to, I'll post it. If you go to her the Conscious Center, I love that name, and this has been going on for a while. Seriously. Anyways, we're gonna get this show on the road. All right, there you are, Miss Dorothy. I was waiting on. That's who I was really waiting on. I was waiting on Miss Dorothy because I was just on the phone with her. Miss Dolores should be on. All the people. If I talk to you during the day, you got to show up to the show. So when Miss Dolores hits the room, y'all, from Detroit, y'all need to make sure that somebody let her know I was talking about her, because I was talking to her on the phone. Anyways, all right, now, yeah, I want y'all to go ahead and give a warm welcome here as I bring to the stage Miss LaDonna Cox. Hey.
Hey.
What's up?
Hello, my brother.
Woo. It's so good. This is so good.
So good. So great. So God. Huh.
Sometime when I open these and start these, depending on who it is, I allow the room to be warmed up and welcome, and in various forms and ways. Brother, his Titus out of Dallas, he uses sound bowls, and he'll do some he'll take some. He came from COGIC too, but he's using sound bowls, and he'll mix some things up. And I was like, this guy is really gifted.
Yeah.
And he was a worship leader, and now he's in this expanded consciousness and awareness. So he still has some of those gifts. Can you hear that music?
I can. Is that him?
No, that's some of my music.
Yeah, hey. that. When I heard it earlier, I was like, oh man, I could really
listen. Give me some hums to that real quick. Can you hear it?
I can, and you know what's funny? I kind of did that on my own earlier today.
Warm us up a little bit, sis.
Warm us up.
Yes.
We here today. So much gratitude.
Call on the spirit.
Hey.
Call on the spirit now. Oh.
Yes. That's it.
We're calling on the spirit to move and to breathe in us and through us and as us. You hear me?
Let's go. Let's go.
Let the spirit move. Let the spirit move. Let the spirit move. I knew.
Yeah.
Okay. I come from that space, right? When you do your thing and you at your conscious center,
they called it the flow, man.
I need to be in that flow because I could do spoken word to that. I could go get on some keys with that. I could go get on some drums.
I already know you got the vision. I already know you got the vision.
Man, when I heard that, I was like, woo, good God.
It's from the soul, man. It's from the soul.
And what people don't understand is like what we do in church, right? We would do some things in church and we would say spirits moving. Yeah. That's semantic, right?
Oh, yes.
When you move your body,
yeah.
Everybody that's in tune to us right now, I want you to just, even right now, like we don't have to let this be the internet, right?
Yep.
we are here now, and it's just the fact that we get to interact, but we're gonna raise the vibration in our
That's
heart,
it.
right?
That's
We're
it.
raising the vibration,
This is
right?
it. This is
Y'all,
what's
hey,
needed.
y'all should be going stupid about the way she was just on the mic, listening to the track.
You made me clear my throat, brother.
Let me clear my bro. You was like, oh man.
Man, get you on the ones and twos, put me on the mic. That's what we did. We come from the flow. We come from the flowing. That experience is natural from the land. So
Let
yeah,
that, we would catch the spirit. My thing is, do you know, like movement?
yeah,
Moving your body, shaking your body. The only way your lymphatic system actually functions is
right.
through movement. Your lymphatic system, that's called the sewer of your body,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So when you get up and walk, and when you jump, if you're not feeling well and you have like allergies or something going on, I don't care what your age is. The biggest thing you need to do is you get you a little trampoline, or you stay out here and you just start shaking your body
Move
and
it
jump,
around. Move it
right? Move it
around.
around just in place and shake your body, because that's shaking that
Yeah.
frequency and that
It's
energy up,
healing.
and it's beginning to heal, and it's going to flush your body,
Yeah.
right? Am I
Yeah.
right, doctor? There's a doctor in the room. Am I right?
That's good stuff.
Am I a doctor? Uh, uh, so the thing is also too is we'll end this in a meditation, and
Mhm.
but we're gonna what I first want to do is, you haven't truly opened up until now, because now's the time, because Malachi's special and this is special and everybody around me is special,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So tell me, have you ever talked too much, a lot about your NDE?
You know, I haven't done it a lot live. I've done it, person to person, maybe, in passing,
Oh
kind of
no,
quick.
this is public. When you come on here,
Yeah.
you come into some of the biggest superstars ever.
Yes.
Like, all my people
Yes.
are superstars
Yes.
for me.
Understood. And just recently though, I did a podcast and I told some of the story. Shout out to local artist Ruben, Sound Lab, Song Lab. But on a massive scale,
This
no.
this is
It,
it.
it
This
has
is time.
been, yeah,
So because the way I see this is, we bringing it out, pulling it out, because I labeled this as you going from an NDE, right? And even if you
yeah,
had them from church way we went, you wouldn't even say it, but you going from this NDE to being a COGIC girl to being now this who you are.
yeah.
Tell us a little bit about this experience, what happened, and near death experience for all those who want to know this. But this person has had the most unique, m- even a more unique to me, and closer to, what would I say, the miraculous. We had
Yeah.
David Williamson. Y'all remember him? Beautiful soul in Atlanta, who had a heart attack, and he talked about his life, of how his life was before his NDE, and what caused it. He ended up having a heart attack, and they literally shocked him back, and he ends up coming back, and they asked, "Did you feel that?" And he was like, "No, I didn't feel it at all." Right. But this one here is another element of a miracle, y'all. This is a super duper miracle in terms of, like, wait a minute, we can see the heart attack, but falling that far, and
Yeah.
you like live, get into it.
So, as you may have heard just a little bit, I was in a near death. I had a near death experience at the age of 18, right after high school, living in Chicago, Illinois, on the South Side. Shout out to the Midwest. Um, from the low end or no end. That's where I'm from, in Chicago. And I had just graduated from high school in June, And this was the winter of 1996 in January. And on the south side of Chicago, we lived in a 10-story building, but we resided on the 6th floor. So it was my mom and my sister and my brother. And we're dead in the middle of winter, you know, cold outside, wind is blowing, and we're awakened by the smell of smoke, January 18th, 1996. And at first, I wasn't sure that I was really, you know, feeling what I was feeling. Like I was being awakened by the smell of smoke, but I kept falling back to sleep. And all of a sudden, my mother called my name, and she began to smell smoke, and she woke me up. And I said to myself, and I said to her, oh my goodness, I thought I was smelling smoke, but I wasn't sure. I kept falling back to sleep. And so she grabbed me and we left the bedroom and we went into the living room, where the living room started to just fill up with smoke. And it's so interesting, you know, how the spirit assists us before we even know we're going to need help. Rewind just a little bit. 3 years prior, 1993, me and my family, my mother, my other brother, was sitting in the kitchen, and out of nowhere, he just began to say, hey, if it's ever a fire in this apartment, you know, you can get out. You know, you can just wrap yourself around this steel pole right outside the window and escape. And we were like, why is he talking about this? This is 3 years prior. We're like, what do you mean? Why are you talking about that? You know, and we just brushed it off and went back to our, you know, conversation. And fast forward to 1996, when my mother woke me up from the smell of smoke. And we went into the living room. The first thing in my mind that came back was that conversation in 1993. Because by this time, the apartment is covered in smoke and we can barely see. So me and my mother, my sister, my brother, we all went into the kitchen, and we were just desperately, you know, looking for some help and looking for a way out. And we had a neighbor who saw us hanging out the window, and she alerted the fire trucks and the firemen and said, hey, my friends, they're up in the window. Somebody bring a truck, bring a ladder, and come get my friend and her family. And so it seemed like an eternity, but it had to be only maybe about 3 or 4 minutes, but it seemed like forever. We were just growing desperate to get out of all of the smoke. And we're panicking, and I just began to, you know, pray and say, I just want you to save us, God. If you're here, you know us. If you know me, they say you know me, you know us. Come where we are. I spoke to God in that way. If you know me, you show up here right now and save me and my family. And, you know, I had always been, you know, in church and knew how to pray. I was one of those kids, you know, I was just about, they used to say, born on the pew. My mother got saved when she was pregnant with me, and she put a lot in me, as far as spirituality was concerned. And everything I knew came flooding back to me in that moment. And so here's the fireman coming to the window with the ladder. He gets to the 6th floor where we're hanging out the window, desperately crying. And he realizes that the ladder doesn't reach to 6. It only goes as far as the 5th floor. And the smoke was just swaying back and forth, but it was just something so touching about this man's eyes. We could see the fireman even through the smoke because his eyes were just a steel blue. And he spoke to us and he talked to us for the longest and he comforted us. And we just would cry, hey, can we jump down onto your ladder because we're on 6, but we need to get out. So can we jump? He said, well, my ladder's not tall enough. The wind is blowing. If you all jump, we all gonna fall. And at that point, we were so desperate. We wanted to jump, but he assured us that he would go and get another ladder and come back. So he went down the ladder. And as he went down his ladder to go get a different ladder that could reach us, the smoke grew thicker and thicker and thicker. And I remember us all feeling like it was a synchronized motion. Me, my sister, my brother, and my mother, we all at the same time turned around and looked at this smoke. And there was no way out. We were in the middle of a dark cloud. And I looked at my mother and I said, I'm going to go out. And right before that, my sister, she panicked. She was 11 at the time, so little. She said, I'm jumping. And I said, no, you can't jump. You just got to pray. And it calmed her for a moment. And I looked at my mother, which would be for the last time alive. And I told her that I was going to jump out. So I proceeded to cut the screen in the window and I wrapped myself around the steel beam pole that ran down the side of the building. Now I'm going down the pole and the fireman is on his way back. He sees me go past him and he's going up the ladder. As he's going up the ladder, he sees my sister fall right off. He doesn't know it's a girl, but he looks up and he sees something flying through the air. And he's like, as it gets closer, he realizes it's a small girl. And that was my sister. And so I'm going down the ladder at the speed of it felt like 150 miles per hour. And I finally got to the bottom. I fell off maybe about the 2nd floor. And going down the steel beam, my arms were cut wide open. And as I reached the bottom around the 2nd floor, I fell off and everything in me cracked. And I was so exhausted. But the interesting thing was, as exhausted as I was in my attempt to just lay down, I was pushing to lay down. I was so exhausted. I was trying to just rest. And I couldn't because there was something on my back just holding me. And so I stayed just sitting and everything cut off. The noise, the breaking of the glass, the sounds of the flames. Everything stopped. And I knew I wasn't by myself. And it seemed as if the noise cut off while the hands were holding me. so that I could distinguish that being from an earthly being. So laying on the ground in this seating position, I had two neighbors come and just grab me. Let's put her over to the side. And as soon as they touched me and started to talk, that's when all the noise came back on. And they set me in this parking lot right next to my building. And people were just throwing coats on me, trying to keep me warm because I was bleeding and broken. I'm laying there in pain and despair, and I'm thinking that I'm gone, but I'm still, I think therefore I am. You know, something is still moving in my consciousness. And I just lay there and I'm waiting to be rescued, and all of a sudden, the lights go down. First, there was a darkness, and all of a sudden, a light. This light came on, and there was a presence. There was a presence that was so connected to me that we didn't need words. It was so all-encompassing and all-loving and all-knowing. And it was a part of me. It felt like a part of me that knew more about me than I knew about me, but it was still me. And the presence was so familiar. I knew I had been with this being before. I knew this place that resided in the light. It was home. And it was the most intense feeling of love and unconditional love and peace and acceptance that I had ever felt. But I knew I had felt it before, and I knew that it wasn't separate from me. And all of a sudden, me in this space and this presence start to have a dialogue with no words. Naturally, I'm worried about my family and my mother and my brother, and it knew all of my questions. Me and this source communicated simply through my mind. And all of a sudden, in this light, I'm in this presence. And this higher, all-encompassing, all-loving being told me that I'm going to take your mother with me. And I was mad and upset and frustrated. And I was like, well, how am I supposed to live? I'm 18 years old and I have to go through this rehabilitation and learn to heal and like all by myself. You want me to stay here and deal with this aftermath without my mother? I couldn't fathom that. And so I had a solution. I said, well, let's go. Take me back. Like, I want to go. Like, I've been there before. Like, let's go. Like, I'm well aware of what this is. I want to go home. And you're taking my mother home. I want to go. I'm okay with that. And that divine presence, that all loving, all knowing light rejected me and told me that there would be things that I would have to get through, but I could not go because it wasn't my time and there was still more work for me to do. And so after being rejected and somewhat scalded that I would try to get out of my assignment, if you would, it rejected me and told me that there was more and I had to stay for more. And the lights cut back on and the ambulance came, and that was the beginning of my awakening journey.
Tell me, like, as you process this, because I know you've processed it numerous times. I know you've been through this time and time again, but there's a new beginning and another rebirth. And this is the moment in time. So when you tell this story now, it's a whole different thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's completely different.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I know that we can go deeper into as you went through some of those things, but I want to jump because there is an awakening that you know there's a call and gift on your life. So we want to move into spiritually and church life, right? Who were you, right? Who did you become? Because you knew who Bishop was,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Absolutely.
Born and raised COGIC.
That's right. And you know, had the Zusa videotapes and you know, I would see him on PTL with, you know, my mother be watching, you know, and so I grew up watching Bishop Carlton. And so I never would have thought that this was the road I would travel, you know, because wasn't nobody more COGIC than me. And I shout, pick them up, put them down. That was, you know. And even right after the accident, of course, because that was the community I was used to, born and raised in, I knew I was called to do something, and that was the place I did it. So I started off around the age of 21. I think I let it marinate for a while, right? Right after the accident, I had to heal, I had to rehabilitate. But around that time, I was really isolated. You know, I couldn't get up and move around, and you know, I had to sit still to process, you know. And I didn't have any distractions to keep me from hearing that constant nudge that says, you you're here for a reason. There's more. And so, because the church is where I was born and raised, that's where my calling started off. So I accepted my call to preach about maybe about a year and a half, 2 years after the accident. And I started preaching and I started exercising my gifts, singing and praying for people. And a lot of times I, heard that I had certain gifts, and I started using those in the church, and then I was being called to preach and pray at other churches. And I had gained a following, and my authentic self started coming more to the surface. And I realized that I was fluid and loving and same gender loving. And so at that time, I have this calling, and at the same time I'm conflicted with religion and my calling and my sexuality. And so that sent me into a dark place, because the only place I knew I could live out this calling was a place that didn't accept the me that I was discovering. And as I went in this deep, dark place of wanting to just not even use my gift, I stopped preaching and singing because I didn't want to be hypocritical. And I knew that I was still anointed and I was still who people saw me as, but I understood too that there was a part of me that was not accepted. So that sent me into a dark place, and I stopped ministry altogether. And I said, I'll just exist. I'll just exist and wait for my time. And even after that decision, I would go to sleep and I would have dreams about people's lives, and I would see the future. I would see people's lives and important decisions they'd have to make. And I was really upset at God, because I was like, well, you showing me direction for everybody else's life, but where's some help for me? Why don't you show me how to walk this thing out? Or why don't you give me a light at the end of the tunnel? And I remember Spirit speaking to me and saying, I'm not going to stop using you. So you're going to have to find a way to reconcile all that you are. And that's when I went on a search. And that's when consciousness, evolution, and expansion started knocking on my heart.
Hmm. So when you left, tell me a little bit about deconstructing that self. Did people ever come for you? Did they ever say anything? Did they ever be like, "Oh, what are you doing? What are you studying? Oh, Jesus. Oh, did you ever deal with ridicule?"
You know what? I didn't have a lot of public ridicule, like face to face. The phone call slowed down.
What do you mean slow down?
They stopped, right?
What do you mean stop? They started
Like no, the phone calls as far as like coming to
speaking.
preach, coming to speak, coming to sing, there were some people in private that asked me if I was sure that this is what I wanted to do, was to be out. And I absolutely did. Once I made that choice to be my full self, I understood that being in secret only helped those that wanted to continue to use my gift without being accountable to the full me. Okay. I'm just saying, because if it's our little secret, then I can manipulate you through what I know. And I didn't want that. So I wanted to own myself. I wanted to own my truth. I took everybody's sword away, everybody's ammunition that could have used who I was against me. Now I hold it in my hand and I own it. So let's go even further. Ashe. Okay, now I own myself, my fullness, my evolving self, my expanding self, my sexual self, my sensual self. I own all of me. Oh, but what about my mind? And I discover that my beliefs and my own thinking, my autonomy had been hijacked. And Spirit said, this is it. Let's go all the way. So the excavation started, and I started reading and tearing down all the things that were not appealing to me.
Reading. What'd you start reading?
Oh, that first one, I'm gonna have to give it 4 Agreements.
Okay. What did it tell you?
The 4 Agreements, the message that stood out to me in the 4 Agreements was how beliefs are given by those that we've been born into.
Okay.
And we may have not had a complete chance to discover our beliefs on our own. And it made me look at things that were what I like to call in my peripheral. You know, you go along, you go with the flow, you sort of have these, what I call bandwagon beliefs. And you realize that you've never explored why you believe what you believe. And what has been in your peripheral all the time is these questions, the possibility that do you think it's more to what you believe or more than what you believe in your world? Do you realize that you've just been in your own world and you are the way you are because you've been doing what you've been doing and you've been saying what you've been saying and you've been saying what they've been saying? But have you stopped to question whether or not it works for you? Have you stopped to contemplate whether or not these thoughts originate in you, these beliefs originate in you, or have they just been handed to you? And you haven't done your own exploration. I started to feel that that was sacrilegious, if you would, to a true creator, because doesn't my creator want me to use more of my mind? Haven't I been meant for more? Is there more inside of me? Should I be respecting this human experience rather than fearing it? And why does every time I get close to a human experience, it's rebuked, or it's refuted, or it's rejected, and it's refused? So I went on a journey that I realized that if I didn't take myself on it, nobody else was gonna do it, because if I stay in the dark, it could serve purpose for others and their need to control. And so my journey began.
I know there's a lot with this journey beginning, going from ministry and music ministry, highly gifted, highly anointed, able to really, really shut the church down, right? Right.
We had a good time. We did.
No. I'm there, and I know, I feel in your spirit as a musician, as a person that has worked with Carlton Pearson, as a person that has been around the best of the best. What's her name? I can't think of her name. She was with Church of God in Christ, and she lives here in Tulsa now. I forgot. I'll think of it later. I want to give a shout out to her, but I'm just saying, I know for a fact who you were, and for you to do what you did for this moment, it wasn't had any it for this moment, because you are at the prime. You're at the prime, because we need you, right? More than ever, with everything going on within globally, but everything going on within this country, and we're about to welcome in a female, black female president, right? And the divine feminine, right? We're going to heal the world through the divine feminine, right? Our next transition is because of the divine feminine, right? It's within all. The thing is it's within all of us.
Right.
Between me and my wife, I have 2 daughters. So I come from a mother. I have a grandmother, right?
Yeah.
Who I adore dearly, right? Who is actual spiritual, who is actually gifted and anointed. What would the churches be without the female?
Right. Without the female presence that also knew how to juggle the masculine presence.
Oh,
from within.
They
and so when you talk about shut down, we was spirit needs to be right here. Spirit needs to be, and we would shift the environment, balancing the two, right? Listen.
Where we have come to with men being in charge,
Right.
when we move into this divine feminine, the mother, it doesn't need charge. The mother knows it's charge.
Mm.
Your mama, your grandma, or whoever else don't even have to move a muscle to run the room, even though he gonna go over here and do this and he gonna do that. He gonna think he's in charge. She don't even have to have the title.
Right.
Right?
Right. Right.
Like the woman didn't need the title, and they
Yeah.
held women back from the pulpit. I'm glad that they did. You know why? Because of the fact that they don't need to go up there thinking that they need to replace a man or be a man.
Yes. Yes.
All they got to do is be, because the essence of this earth is we live on Mother Earth, right?
Yes.
The
Right.
essence of this earth.
Yes.
It just has the divine feminine just needs to be. And so the thing about you is, I'm saying, is that you are at this moment and prepared, right, for what is, because the church needs healing
Yes.
more
Yes.
than anything.
Yes.
Outside of the church, the world needs healing.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Who has healed this world more than anyone? And I'm going to tell you, this has come through the Spirit.
Mm-hmm.
Who has healed this world, and especially in this country more than anybody, is the American from African descent female. And I say that specifically because the African is Africa, but the Africans that came through the bottom of the ship and died and then came back and then died and then dropped off in Jamaica and dropped off, and right?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes.
And who is and what is the design of a colony, of a hive?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You have to have the queen.
You have to have it. Yep.
You have to have the queen.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Queen bee. If you want to move a beehive, which actually is part of our ecosystem,
That's right.
you have to find the queen.
Mm-hmm.
If you find the queen, if you find the queen,
yeah, everybody gets nourished.
you have to find if you get a beehive and you want to move those bees.
Yep.
You got to find the queen and tell that queen and put her queen in place. And do you know what happens? Do you know the queen, all she has to do is begin to zzz, 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 and everybody comes up and follows. They talk about the spiritualness. Look it up. There's spiritualness to the way bees work and the way she shakes and moves.
Yes.
She's talking and communicating, right? This is a time. Who's going to heal the church? Because the first thing they wouldn't do is the church. They take our autonomy, and then what they do is they take everything from a woman, pretty much.
They
take it off.
Yeah, and then the with that foundation, after a while, it's hard to replace that feeling of compassion and acceptance and empathy that should be there. So, because after a while, it was like, come on in, right? After a while, it was like, okay, we realize y'all should be in the pulpit or y'all can speak. But by now, it's so much hurt and pain, and then it's so much rigidness. The women don't like the women now. It's rigid by now. So until you tear down the entire system, we really can't heal the way we're supposed to, because each group has been suppressed and oppressed in one way or another. And then you want to bring it back and say, oh, it's okay now. And then what we should realize is that when they desire to put these things or put people in their rightful place or to be accepting, the people that have been listening the whole time should realize that these changes are being made by personal perception and the will of a person. Why are you changing your mind now? I thought it was a spiritual thing. I thought it was a God thing. But now I'm realizing that you choose when you want to accept and when you don't. Because if it was God then, who's accepting it now? If we're accepting women now, I thought God said no. And so now trying to bring the divine feminine, the compassion back, is so many holes. You got to tear the whole thing down.
Has to. I'm reading and studying and speaking with Dr. Jeffrey Kripal, and he has a book called Superhumanities and another one called The Flip. This man is on. He's the professor of religion for Rice University. I mean, he's brilliant. I mean, it's the first person I ever heard, which I'm going to have an episode. This is just teasing you guys. I'm going to have an episode I'm talking about when we start talking about the divine and we start talking about the feminine energy. I'm going to have an episode and I'm going to talk to people understanding, especially Black folks, about understanding the role of the role of the white person. Right. Black people has to understand there's a role that the white people play within this transaction. Everything from what's happening up in America in the government, but also that's happening in our communities. I'm about to meet a white gentleman tomorrow who's going viral with his story. And you'll see some stuff about it, but he's like the Jolly Ginger, right? Which is doing some amazing work within confronting other white people about what's going on. But this guy, he's going to HBCUs and Black people are supporting him. But I only say that to say because there's different roles, because I'm going to have some episodes with some modern day abolitionists is what I would call them, right? How is the spirit moving within, let's call it like we see it, how the spirit moving and working with people that are understand this and understand what we might be experiencing, but also can be a part of this unity, this unified field, right, of consciousness. But anyways, with the divine feminine, but also I'm really wanting to highlight you and what I see. And what I see, if you guys get a chance, go to her page with the Conscious Center and listen to her go forth, right? Like, I can go twice as high. Take a look.
We had to. I was a PBS kid.
What is that?
Can't do anything. Ways to know, ways to grow. We say, you are the rainbow.
See, hit me with it one more. Hit me with it. I can go twice as high.
Take a look in a book. You are the rainbow. I can do.
Keep on going. Yes. You can do anything. Oh, you can do anything.
You can do anything.
Whatever you're going through right now.
You can do anything. We can do anything.
Come on right now. Yes, we can do anything.
We can do anything. We can do anything. Ways to know, ways to grow. You are the rainbow.
Yeah.
Yes.
See, we can do that right now without even, right? I know that we feel and somebody feel like they need to shout, but sometimes you just need to let that ride with you because you want
Yep.
to go into that, right?
Yes.
And be
It's like when
emotional.
you really think about it, it's like we grown, but we need to know we can do anything. We
Anything.
can expand, we can evolve, we
Mm.
can think, we can change, we can grow, we can be. We are limitless. You can go on your journey and have the courage to disconnect from what doesn't serve you. You can do anything.
It takes it in according to the quantum realm, right?
Yes,
According to
sir.
the quantum realm, I know there's a lot that people don't get, but what happens is there's been person after person from Neville Goddard to and Abdullah
Uh-huh.
to Joe Dispenza to
Yeah.
Silva. What
Uh-huh.
happens is even in the scriptures, right?
Hmm.
It's deeper
Yeah.
than faith is not. It's like faith is the substance of things hoped for, evidence of things
Okay.
not seen. But the
Okay.
thing is like you have to be in faith to the point where you don't. It's already done, and if it's already done, you have to act as though.
Act as though.
So feel as though like I'm doing me at this moment. You're
Yes.
doing you, and you have to feel it even before it
Yes.
happens.
Believe that you have received. Not that you will receive, that you have received.
Mm.
Right now, present tense. And when you have, you do not yearn. You already have it. So you walk in your knowing. You can do anything. Limitless.
Y'all better be receiving this right now because listen, rather than raising money, we bring in the energy where money will fall upon you.
This is how it goes. Understand.
Healing that you might
Understand.
need right now is falling up on you. If you won't, if you
That's
have to
it.
see it as it's already done.
That's it. That's
You
still true.
are a tremendous blessing to us and the world. And I want to know because we've had it where we've seen that you've been through something really, really dark and deep, and losing your mother and transition, singing. You got the conscious center, right?
Yes.
And you
Yes.
have this community that's growing and building. What is the vision?
The vision of the conscious center is to be an inclusive spiritual community and be that bridge that people need when they're transitioning from religious dogma and non-inclusiveness and rigidness and hell and damnationness to be that bridge that people need to stand and receive those that are coming and being rehabilitated and transformed. Because a lot of people, they stay where they are, of course, for the sense of community that they've known for quite some time. And a lot of people won't move into that feeling or that nudge. I call it being in the corridor of consciousness. Something's knocking at the door and causing them to ask questions, but they don't explore what's behind the questions and they don't explore the answers because they're afraid they would lose a community and lose connection and even lose a soulful environment that nurtures their well-being and is in line with the culture that they're used to. The conscious center is that bridge. And we're allowing people to be their full self, their authentic self, and still have a space that tells them it's okay that you walk with the divine, that you have gifts, and that you're aware that you come here to be bigger than a belief. That's what we're doing.
Mm.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
Bigger than the belief. That's
Yeah.
what you say. That's where is unlocking potential
Mm-hmm.
beyond belief.
Yes.
Beliefs are limited, but we only know about what we've been told. And I believe that's only because that's what they know, right?
Right.
This is the moment of the 4-minute mile, right? I mean, the 4-minute mile. So they was saying that basically you can't run a mile in 4 minutes. This happened up until I think the 30s, or your heart would explode, right? So everybody just knew we're not gonna run past it,
Right.
because you don't know what's gonna happen to the body. We are reaching spaces spiritually
Mm-hmm.
that we
Mm-hmm.
don't know what's behind the veil because we've been told not to.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But in super consciousness and understanding, and is in expanded consciousness, in pure consciousness, what
Uh-huh.
happens is self-healing, and the things that we have just talked about with Jesus. There's some people
Uh-huh.
now coming out talking about they said there's no power in the name of Jesus, first of all, because it wasn't his name, right?
You
There's
know
power.
that made some people mad.
Makes people mad. Like, how you gonna say there's no power in the name of Jesus? Listen, energy is.
Energy is, sir. Yes.
Energy is. Well, it all stemmed from because the fact that listen, I entered into the girl who, Miss Sony, that got killed by the cop.
Yes. Sonia Massey.
Well, Sonya was dealing with something. Right. I've been around it, first of all, but she was dealing with something within her cognition, right? Her cognitively thinking,
I see.
right? You can't, but coming in there, you can't pinpoint, or you may not know, and you may not. And he mentioned it and he said something, but they didn't even notice her erratic behavior. Of course, you're going to call us and say you heard something or see something. There's water, there's this. So my thing is, and so when she replied, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus, the church and everybody else is thinking like, oh my God. And it's like, he still shot her. And then they try to say there was some demon in him. And I'm like, no, the man had some level of illness, and the fact that he did that and she said that was, to me, it was all just part of this flow. Oh, this is this flow. I see this and I see that, and he's doing this. It's all part of the flow, and his
Of
energy.
an energetic force.
It's an energetic force.
That's present. And what has happened is we've been worshiping outside of us and calling on a name when we're supposed to emulate and get those messages off the pages and become the illuminated being ourselves. Christ consciousness and greater works shall you also do. That's the Christ. You are the Christ. We are the second coming. Because as long as we keep these deities separate and distant from us, we cannot become the change. And we've been so safe having these deity in the pages and outside of us. Because no, I'm not responsible for you. No, I don't have to be kind to you. You on your own. Every man for himself, pretty much. But can I affect change in your life? Can I make myself responsible for the way I make you feel? Can I love you and not understand you?
Mm.
But if it doesn't come from the church first, who else is going to do it? The spiritual community. If we don't get the words off the pages and become it, why would the rest of the world do it? That's that divine feminine energy, that humility, that the putting the ego to sleep. Watch this, saying, we got some stuff wrong, forgive us.
Mm. It's coming through. It's coming through. It is coming through. See, this is transformation, right? It came to me and I did a video on it. The bishop, he never did where he was at when he transitioned in his consciousness and expansion.
Mm-hmm.
He had tabled inclusion to a point where, okay, I'm going through this deconstructing process in the church, in the pulpit. Most people don't know he was deconstructing in the pulpit.
Yeah, yeah.
Because he was already, he started deconstructing when he started Azusa and said, let's everybody come together.
You can see that. You can see the vision there, even with the name, right, of the church, higher dimension. You can see the path that was for
It was
him.
already there.
Yeah, for him to
Higher
walk.
dimension. All he did was he kept progressing whenever everybody stayed.
And that's the thing. Can we not evolve? Can
We
we
don't,
not progress?
we don't have a choice because the sign of that is even within this country. Because as this country gets the some of the history, the symbol
Mm-hmm.
of that woman that breastfed their kids and their babies,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
As that everything that's taking place in the atmosphere, as above, so below,
As above, so below.
right? So the church has now it doesn't have a choice, right? Y'all can
Mm-hmm.
keep doing what y'all doing, but just like Christian nationalism, right? And people are
Mm-hmm.
beginning to see it for what it is.
Right.
Right? Because you
Yeah.
start seeing, like, wait a minute, this ain't just about Jesus. This is about your power and your politics, right?
Right.
Now it's transferring to the black church. Wait, now y'all taking it, y'all saying meditation is the devil. Like, I haven't seen this other word.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I've been telling people like some talking about end times. So tell me what do you know about Brother John Darby, right? Like
Mm-hmm. Right.
the person that invented basically in the 1800s, he was dispensationalism and
Mm-hmm.
eschatology.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
so this is the white man that actually began to put all that in play before we had all these movies that we did with Left Behind series. Like, you know how
Right.
much money that made? Right? That's all wrapped up. That's all wrapped up into this system,
In the
right?
system of fear.
Of fear,
Of
guilt,
fear.
shame,
Uh-huh.
lower vibrations. If you look at
Lower vibration.
Dr. David Hawkins,
Uh-huh.
right? And he
Uh-huh.
talks about the higher levels of consciousness and lower levels
Yes.
of consciousness and lower
Yes.
levels of energy, consciousness, vibration, shame, guilt, fear. It's
Yes.
just gonna keep
Right.
perpetuating itself, and you're gonna go lower and lower. I said, can you imagine if the church ever said, when you first
Uh-huh.
see you, instead of saying you're full of, you are
Right.
of sin nature,
Right. Yep.
you're a piece of shit,
A man born of a woman, his days is full of trouble.
you are.
Yeah.
They tell us how they brought us down, and they said, okay, now I got the answer though.
Uh-huh.
And the answer is you got to accept this and accept me. And then you gotta come hear me and feed off of me
Mm-hmm.
and off of what I got here in this book. And then all of a sudden you're redeemed. What if we told them you are fine and the gift of God is already you, is with you? What
In
if
you, as you, right?
what if I begin to talk about the higher vibrations versus the lower vibrations of consciousness?
Because this is the thing, right? When you begin to realize that the material physical world is born of the mind first,
Mm, come on.
all is mind.
Mm-hmm.
What if I showed you that your physical experiences come from your mental diet and playing field?
Mm-hmm.
Would you still create what doesn't make you feel good?
Hmm.
If what we get is what we focus on the most, would you change your mind around what you choose to believe?
Hmm. There are, as far as understanding the levels of consciousness, that's where you're entering into dimensions. The higher you go up, as you go into guilt, shame, fear, do you know basically that's hell.
Uh-huh.
And then
Mhm.
you can get darker and darker. And when someone commits volatile acts where we say, oh, it's the devil versus like, they talk about when Trump got shot at is like divine healing and God basically intervened. And my thing is like, so why wasn't it a warning versus,
Oh
but,
man.
and why did somebody else have to die? God is an observer, if anything,
If anything.
because I see it in me. It's more of an observer. We're down here like some wild goose, wild animals
who lost our training wheels.
lost their training wheels.
Catch that, right? The fact
Mm,
that we have to have the training wheels and then we lost them. We've forgotten our connection. We've forgotten our power. And that's the whole thing. What happens, your knowing is, and that third eye is blown open when you realize, when you go to the light, and somehow, right, I couldn't go all the way. That silver cord was still attached. It kept me over on this side, but you come back and you realize I am not, I'm in the world, but not of the world. I'm not of this physical
dimension.
plane.
Mm,
And so my energy and vibration can still match the plane that I've originated from. And that's how I create my heaven on earth. I vibrate at the same level of what I really desire, the place that I desire. But a lot of our attention is blocked. Our attention on what we truly want is blocked by the fear of being told you're going to hell. So
I mean, right there. Listen, this is the thing about when you tap in and tune in, because I hadn't seen this graph, but
oh
I
yeah,
seen
the
this
lower
graph
ego
in my
self.
head. I've
Mm-hmm.
seen certain graphs like this, but it's
Mm-hmm.
hard to find the graph specifically that's going to carry on with what I'm talking about. Because in order for this graph, it did a little bit more. So you guys have to understand there's some science in this, but
Yeah.
there's awesome some spirit and there's some consciousness and everything else. But the thing is this is the keys, right, to unlock consciousness in the sense of who we are and the things we need to do. She just mentioned hell. If you look over here, look at that. And
Uh-huh.
look at that. Shame,
Yep.
guilt,
Lower ego self.
and
Ego.
that's to lower the ego
The
self.
ego.
right? And where pride, anger. So you riding in a purgatory when you, so what you see right now, there is a lot of us and a lot of this world and a lot of this country specifically I'm gonna talk about because that's where I'm at, even though I know we got people from other places, but even in humanity, right?
Mhm.
All the pride and the ego is keeping people in a purgatory, which could be almost worse than hell because at least I know that you are who you are. Like you are who you are,
Mhm.
right? When you start victim abuser,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, yes.
Look at that.
Yep.
And as
Victim,
we,
but you have to keep that victim mentality in order to have, and a lot of people don't really believe that that's part of the ego too, trying to needing to identify
mm,
as the victim. That's all perpetuated. That whole story, being the victim, the devil is the abuser, and that's the lower ego self. But if the church comes out of the unforgiveness, the dogma, the construct, the big I's, the little U's, say we have some things wrong about humanity. Again, that's that divine feminine coming back in. Why can't the church ask for forgiveness for some of the messages?
mm,
What? Why?
mm,
Why is the ego so present in a place that
mm,
is supposed to be a spiritual safe haven?
mm,
And I never hear anybody say, we got that wrong.
mm.
Love your family members. Don't not talk to your son or your daughter for years because they have differences from you. Isn't that what Jesus did? Had that radical acceptance and talked to everybody? Included everybody? We got to get rid of that ego, that purgatory, that lower vibrational self.
Mm. Even if we don't fully let it go, the thing is can you be okay with either being told that you're in that, or can you be okay with telling yourself like you need to stop? That's this, right? Can you recognize it within yourself? Like, oh, here we go.
Right.
I'm wait, you know, I'm looking at me.
Ooh,
I'm look,
I have these conversations all the time. Like, who is who needs to be exempt from what? Let every man examine himself. Can you stop yourself? And I don't care what your title is, in the middle of a wrongdoing or separating another life force from you and your compassion. Can you stop yourself in your tracks and say, this isn't beneficial, advantageous for the soul?
mhm.
But and if we saw each other as ourselves and one connection, the all in the all, the micro representing the macro, not disconnected, I would want to treat you as myself.
Yes.
Mhm.
So in other words, what you're saying is we're running around treating other people the way we treat them because ultimately, who is it that we really have a problem with?
Uh-huh. As within, so without.
Check yourself. You better before you wreck yourself,
Wreck yourself. Riggedy, riggedy, wreck yourself. Come,
right?
Come
We
on.
don't have, we have a problem with checking ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we want everybody else to be either like us or follow us because we steady believing.
Mm-hmm.
You got to move from believing something to knowing.
Uh-oh. That's the one.
What do you know?
Mm-hmm. What do you know?
And what do
Not
you
believe,
mm,
but because believing and knowing is two different things.
as we say, we know who our mom or who our dad may be. We may know who our kids are. I know who my, right? I know who they are.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe that they are who they are. I know it.
Mm-hmm.
So how is it that I can get into knowing myself and knowing spirit? So in other words, leaving, right, the COGIC and doing all that,
Uh-huh.
leaving all that stuff from church to me, as we begin to develop words, as
Mm-hmm.
we begin to feel and be able to be like, wait a minute, okay, I
Uh-huh.
knew something was weird. I
Yeah.
knew
Yeah.
something was off. I mean, especially our generation. I think what are we? We like we gen something. I
I
can't think.
don't know.
We from the boomers,
Yeah, yeah. We the baby boomers, the babies of the baby boomers.
babies of the babies
Yeah.
boomers. So, and one of the things about us, we were a generation that would definitely start asking questions.
We were those ones. They were like, we've been sweeping stuff under the rug, and
Gen
here
X.
y'all come. Because we learning how to, put a CD-ROM together and
When we learning that we have some empowerment and we don't have to sit back and do everything these people say. And so we already had this drive.
yeah, yep,
We had this drive to begin to be like, wait a minute,
yep,
right? And so here's the thing. This is happening.
it is.
It's happening, and people are waiting and they're ready and they
Mhm.
just need a place,
They just need a place.
right? And I'm done with focusing on the people that want to come for individuals, right? Uh,
Mhm.
they may come.
Yep.
Christian A. Smith, you have to make sure you tap in and tune in next week
Yes, we'll do.
because he is a powerful at what he does
Hmm.
because he takes some of their words and this is, I think, a gift, but he takes what they are saying and may play it. And then he says, I'm going to just tell you this is bad theology. And you know what? I'm thankful that you are calling, not necessarily calling them out. I'm thankful that you giving the people that had already had questions.
Yes, yes.
They see it as he's
Food
calling
for
them
thought.
out,
Yeah, yeah.
and I'm seeing it as, hey, I'm raising my hand, and I just want to let everybody know. To me, he needs to take a shower. Ain't nobody said it. Nobody won't talk about his arms are stinking. Everybody just not talking about it. Talking about the church. There's some funk in this room, and I'm just done. Like I'm just
Yes.
gonna let everybody know
Right.
there's some
Right.
funk in this room. And it's like, what? Oh, he just said it.
He done said it, and that's what it is. It's like, but sit in it.
But they're sitting in it. Like, did you hear? I couldn't stand that. Even when I was at coaching, I'm like, did you just hear what they just said? And now for me, or any church for that matter, now for me, when I hear it, I'm like, how in the world are those people sitting there? And he's like, I just heard a preacher recently. He's like, wars and rumors of wars. It's bad and getting better and getting worse.
Yeah.
How are y'all sitting there?
Well, that is the sort of opiate effect, right?
Oh,
Not even being able to tell what is the truth for you because your conscience has been seared. You can't even tell what's right for you because you've been sitting in it so long. Your personal autonomy, your ability to be a critical thinker has been stuffed out. And religion has become like a drug and a blinder, and you can't even decipher that, hey, that's, I can't even judge what you're hearing. and and when you become the observer and start observing what's coming toward you and your ability to receive it or not, that's the beginning of the journey, when you start questioning what's coming in your direction.
I think it now is the time, right? Bishop Pearson, on especially on a Pentecostal charismatic fundamentalist kind of position, it had, Alice Baker with the occult, and she talked about that's where New Age comes from, in terms of whenever they talk about this is a new age, and then they flip it. All these different things. They were burning witches at the stake until probably in the States until like 1500 or something like that, 1600. They were burning witches at the stake. Typically it was women. And one of the last ones, I think they let her have her baby, and they burnt her because her daughter, who had a mental illness, they told her, is your mom believing or a witch? And the girl with developmental disabilities said, yes, my mom does. Overall, what I'm saying is, like, they will shut down these things, shut it down. Even us with African American, as I say, spiritual people, right? They shut it down.
Yeah.
Right. And they let us express certain pieces of it. But now is the time that we can begin to and understand. And we hear, you and I are here. All we got to do is move from fear and go into desire. Desire goes into anger, and getting rid of your anger. You might deal with some pride.
Yeah.
But now we're going to get into courage and neutrality, willingness, acceptance.
Yeah.
Love.
Yeah. And there's different stages.
There's different stages.
Just like stages of grief, right? Anger and then acceptance. When you're waking up, you go through that dark night of the soul, the loneliness, the isolation. But as you talk about, like, spiritual, African spiritualism, that's something that has been a part of us, right? And I think that's what people do fear.
Yes.
Like, that element that we've gotten used to, that we brought over and we put it in the church.
Yes.
They fear that that's something that they would have to be without. The thing about it is, we've gotten it mixed up that the church experience is God, but your spiritual experience naturally comes from who you are. And we made that experience so synonymous with church that we feel like, if I leave church, I won't have that. But that's free to you. We've made that experience that we took and put in the church synonymous with the church.
Bang.
But that's the very part of us that people in the church call demonic. That is us. You're experiencing church the way you are because of who you were before church. That's why nobody church like us. But that's not when you leave behind that facility, that's still here. That's free. You don't have to kick, cry, and scream for that power. That's yours. But it was taken from you, and then you had to buy it back with a price. So you took what I came here with and charged me for it. That's all kind of wrong. And that's why people saying, why are y'all praying in this name? You can pray. You can cast. You can spell. You can transmute. You can alchemize. And you don't have to stand and let someone else lay their hands on you to receive it. It's already yours. And then the frustration is there because there's this loop of victimhood, lower self, the ego, the lowered ego that's, oh, woe is me. So there's this perpetuation, right? Nobody is living or getting to the life that they want. So they keep coming back to the leader, but the leader isn't telling you, you have this within you. Because somehow we are craving a need to affect change in our own life. We know deep down within, we have personal power that we came into this earth with to exercise and to transmute things around us and to shift energy and energies.
Yes.
And if we ever all together as a community get a hold of how we can shift energies, we can stand in a room and not even talk and change the world.
Ugh.
But you trying to charge me for who I am, and because because they don't grow, they always in the prayer line, you frustrated. You heard the movie, you heard Bishop. Bishop said, I was frustrated with everybody's souls being on my shoulder. You want to know how to get that burden off you? Tell people who they truly are. Allow people to exercise what's in them. Tell them the full truth. That if you don't take your eyes off, you can walk on the water. If you turn your attention and intention toward your life, get in the driver's seat, you can walk on the water. And I'd rather set people free by allowing them the space to use their own mind rather than to keep them captive because it makes me feel powerful. I'm nothing and you everything. Understand?
Yes.
So if I gotta be nothing to make you everything, and I'm saying that within the context of I don't need to follow a construct that makes me have some sort of hierarchy over another individual and their mind. I want to give you your power so you can exercise it. I digress. I don't know what happened, but we're here.
Hey.
We're in the building.
I know. Of course, my family's used to it, but you got me in here like, whoa. the power, the power, the power, the power, the power, the power that we have, the energy of being able to raise our vibration, being able to, as we raise our vibration, as we take in these words that you say, the wholeness is within it. I don't have to be talking about what not to do to be holy. I already am.
My human experience, the whole thing,
Yeah. Come on.
makes me experience my wholeness.
Come on.
Just as the cosmos is living, breathing, and expanding,
Mm-hmm.
and uses me as a portion of itself, just with another point of view. I come here to experience all there is for me without guilt, without shame, without fear. Just another experience, another lesson so that I can affect change in my life and apply the laws. Okay, because where I'm from, in order to stay connected, there's these laws that are in the universe. And I come here first, I'm unaware and I'm flailing and I'm moving around and I don't quite have my balance. And then I get into something real human and I mess up. And then all of a sudden, I do it again and I notice a pattern. And then I notice another pattern because I'm being human. And I'm going through ugly stuff. And all of a sudden, I take one time to do one thing different. And I notice that I changed that perpetual behavior or that pattern by my own activity and my own will. So through this human experience, I get to apply the law of the universe. So how do I apply this if you're telling me every time I get close to being human, I'm wrong? How am I going to try this thing on? I'm trying this thing on. I'm just trying this thing on.
Woo.
Trying it on.
How does it fit?
Exactly.
How does it fit?
It's fitting
Right?
good.
If it's too loose, tighten it up.
Tighten it up.
Right? If it's too big, tighten it up. Right?
Shift
Change it
it.
out.
Shift it.
Shift
But
it.
all that you change it for what you believe. You know what? You can too. If it's not working. If it's not working. And that is becoming aware that you can observe what is happening. Instead of constantly absorbing it, I am my environment, I am my upbringing, I am a mistake, I am in this automatic cycle. One day, when you just notice the wheel turning, you hop out and you observe it. You can change it into what you want instead of being a victim of what you do not want. And I don't like the sound of hell. I never did. I wanted heaven where I was. I want heaven where I am. I want love and joy. And so, you know what? Instead of being a recipient of all things, I became a change agent. And not only a conduit, but the conductor.
Mm.
And I started changing the energy in my environment to suit what I want.
Mm.
So don't tell me this human experience is not meant for me in all its many colors and all its many facets in all its many ways. And when I'm done, I shall return back from when I came, from whence I came.
Mm.
Eternal.
Eternal, eternal, eternal. What are you looking for?
Hmm. Mm-hmm. Right? You just ask, like, what do have I ever thought about it?
Mm. Letting it rest on you, rest on your soul, rest into your heart. Because I know people are really feeling it this evening. I can see in the comments, and I love it. I'm so grateful and thankful. If you're out there and you're able to comment, I know a lot of people watch this on YouTube. But if you're on Facebook, just go ahead and make sure if you get a chance, make yourself known in the room and what you feel. If y'all have any questions right now, make sure you put your questions out there. I appreciate you as you are in the room, because I see that there's quite a few of you guys that are still hanging in here. I kind of go with the flow, but if it's flowing and I feel that it's flowing, and I believe that when she speaks, right, when she speaks, it vibrates not only just within our space, but it's literally within all things, right? All space, right? We changing all of that as we raise the consciousness,
Mm-hmm.
right? Moving up,
Yeah.
as they talk about, the higher self.
Yeah.
The higher self. What this chart that I have right here is talking about, going up from a higher self, the universal self, the
Mm-hmm.
supra casual, the absolute self, right? The 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 all of who we are, right? Man, it's so powerful what you have to say and bring. I have here, where does the word amen come from? What I heard is some people say instead of amen, they'll say a woman.
That's the alternative.
Amen, of course, I know is a form of an utterance or a form of an agreement, right? Because Ashe,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right? So be it, or let it be.
Well, it it took on a meaning
Yeah.
after so long. Originally, I believe it comes from the worship of the sun god, Amen Ra.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm.
so that was just Amen stuck. And most individuals did not, and it over time it evolved into being sort of like a so it is, so
Mm-hmm.
shall it be. But that's what Ashe means. So shall it be, so mote it be, so might it be.
It's almost like it's like you said, it's almost like with something that it's become so a part of us.
Yes.
I, there are words, and people struggle with this, but there are words either that will be made or words that we will have,
Uh-huh.
right, that can actually describe what we mean more.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The Bible in itself is very, very, very limited in
Right.
terms of being able to take what the spirit is, because it's so much more than these historical documents. Right? We read it and we stuck to it, and it's like, instead of it being what it is, they've adapted, made it into this this piece of material that limits God.
Ooh, yeah.
It's limiting for the person to come up with that and to say these are some wise things in the era that they did this. So are you telling me that? So what about the people that would be prophets today? True, in terms of not just prophetic, I'm talking about prophets, people that are bringing. I think we have many, right?
Yes.
I think we have a lot of people that actually can tap in, tune in, turn on, turn up, right?
Yep. Who understand, have a knowing.
And we can use that to empower ourselves so that we can do some things for ourselves. We can do anything.
Yes, brother. We can.
Has music come in you in terms of, because music is powerful in terms of, because we need affirmation. Like the thing about the church and some of the things that really helped us deepen our self, even into the monotonous of what it was, right?
Right.
We begin to believe some of that stuff even more because of the fact that when you sing some of those songs, and those songs have feelings, right?
Yeah.
You know,
it drives the message home, right?
It drives it, and I can remember, like, it won't be long.
Right.
You hear that song, and you're like, yeah, I guess it's true.
Right. You put it to music, it's got to be the truth.
It's got to be the truth.
Right.
It's so powerful.
Right.
That's the reason why people still right now want to sing this. Let church say yes.
Yeah. And it brings back moments in time, reminds you of your grandmother, it reminds you of certain, interactions. Some stuff I'll still find myself singing because I understand it's vibration.
Yes.
But it's not my identity. It's not my identity. I'm not trapped in that story or in that narrative. I understand that I've had certain experiences that influenced me for a time and was necessary at a time, but it's okay for me to move from that time into a time such as this.
Yes.
And I have been born into the world for a time such as this. Vibration. That's all there is. Vibration. Hallelujah.
The energy, right? They say everything is energy.
That's right.
And energy can be created.
That's right.
Or destroyed.
That's right.
So what do we do with it? Right? See, what y'all gonna hear tonight, even within this country and what we're dealing with, that is an energy situation.
We wrestle. Not. Okay?
Right.
Not of flesh.
It's an energy thing. And the thing is I'll tell you, I seen in spirit, and it's so hurtful and such a horrible expression or experience to see people like the kids in Gaza families and what they're doing. But the thing is, I felt in my spirit, I'm like, so your generation feels like y'all don't need to go through anything. because we've been through something. My ancestors, I feel like, do you know how many people that end up being in the bottom of the boat and then dying and then it's just happening? There's a lot of people that had to stay alive in order for me to experience this.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
People have
Yeah.
been dying, not an excuse for what has happened or
Uh-huh.
what happens,
Uh-huh.
but we're going to experience some things. And the thing is what are you doing with your experience?
Uh-huh.
Are
Uh-huh.
you tired?
Mm-hmm.
Are you tired of giving all of your power to something or someone else?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Mm,
Do you really want to drive? Do you want to be in the driver's seat? Do you want to put attention on your life or
mm,
stay on autopilot? Do you not want to interrogate even cognitive dissonance in religion, or
mm,
the the post traumatic spiritual disorder? Will you bring yourself to just lean into it? Lean into it and ask what isn't working for me. But the fear is really real though. Because
really real.
if you grew up around a certain belief, it's extremely scary to pull away from it because you don't understand what there is to catch you.
Mm,
But if you want to know, because I've had people tell me, I know there's more, I'm just not ready for it. Like I can only handle what's in front of me. Okay, and you're all right if you want to handle what you've been handling. But if you doing what you've been doing, you're gonna keep getting what you've been getting. But if
mm,
you ask, if you desire something more and you ask, it's coming.
mm,
Do you really want to know if you're meant to effectively navigate this physical existence?
mm.
Effectively. Do you want to know? If you want to know, ask and it shall be given. Seek. And so the seeking for a lot of people hasn't happened until now. The seeking. But if you look, you're going to find it.
You're gonna find.
Yeah.
You're gonna find it. You sooner or later you'll be done with seeking and being seeking
And
and
then be
just being.
yeah.
I'm in my being moment, and the
Mm-hmm.
more I'm in my being moment, that's when I begin to notice
Uh-huh.
it. What the reason why we seek, because I still will be seeking, but
Yeah.
the reason why I don't want to be is because as I begin to be, I
Uh-huh.
gotta deal with all my shit.
Right. The responsibility.
I started got to deal with, like, wait, there's lack, there's scarcity, there's you
Yeah.
know, there's all these things, right?
Uh-huh. You
And
become aware. So that's a responsibility. You mean I can't blame nobody else for what's going on? I can't.
mm,
Oh, I've created this. Oh, okay. But the good thing about it, once you realize it and if you accept it, you can keep creating.
you can keep creating.
You can keep creating.
Actually, you could begin to reach and
Yeah.
reach higher heights or reach a whole other dimensions within your creating. That's why I know that one of the things as I hear you, your voice, and when I hear you sing, it is one of the most healing things.
Wow.
Your voice,
I shame my
your
brother.
voice and what you have there, your message that you have is your message that you have stands on its own. But just as they would show, as they would have before that word or that message come, they would you can. I think it was like on a boat or something, and they would mermaids or something. They would don't listen to the voice, don't hear the voice. So when your voice comes in, it begins to break. It begins to break. And the church used that. It
Yeah,
used
yeah.
I heard a pastor recently, an old school, annoying pastor with egos. There's so many pastors that I think about in the past, and I see older ones, and they're assholes. Where they're like, "When I come here, y'all need to be ready. Y'all should be ready to know what song to sing." And listen, come on, sit down for real, for real. Like, oh, he just tell it like it is. Like the thing
Yeah.
is he understands. These pastors would understand
Mm-hmm.
sirens, Greek mythology. Absolutely, that's what I'm talking about. The pastor would understand that the musicians and the person that's singing
Uh-huh.
could open people up
Yeah. Energetically,
energetically
vibrationally. Yeah.
for the ignorance that they're about to spew. And
Yeah.
people believe they already opened up. The musicians did all the work. And then
Mm.
all of a sudden, you about to talk about something that is mostly not true, and you just trying to dig them deeper and then raise them up and be like, God's got it. You just got to depend on him. You got to get in your word. You got to do this and you got to do that. And you got to pay your tithes and you got to do this. And then God's going to do it. You know, the music, though, by itself alone, and as you sing, I listen to meditations on Insight Timer, and I got my own account. I got some people. I know y'all out there because I know I need to do my Insight Timer, but I'm gonna drop it to you. I'm here to help you, support you,
Yes. Yes.
because I want to get you on Insight Timer and get you out there in these spaces, because of the fact that you have such a gift and just your voice and the power alone, the vibration frequency, not your singing voice, your speaking
Yeah.
voice.
Yeah. Understand.
And when you speak, right, it it begins to break things down, right?
Yeah.
You've been a mama all your life.
All my life.
You've been a mama all your life. I mean, seriously, what I could
Oh, I was an old soul.
use
I've been an
also.
old soul. I might have been here before. And I'm really I think I'm trying to get it right this time because I think I want it to be my last trip. I'm just throwing that out there.
No, 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 no. Well, I've heard it before.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: is yes, for sure. But also, we have to realize what we don't. We only realize the consciousness that we have of us, but it's
Mhm.
hard for us to actually realize the consciousness of ourselves.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
They have memory.
Uh-huh.
It's
Uh-huh.
coming out more and more now within
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
All you got to do is tune in and you'll watch a 2-year-old. They're out there right now. You can see a 2-year-old and
Uh-huh.
all of their bodies function and everything that they do is that of somebody that could be like 50, 60 years old. I've
No,
seen it.
I'm seeing it now. My sister, the one who was also in the fireman caught her,
Oh, good.
went back up, fireman came back up with the ladder. He sees something flying through the air. And he realizes as she gets closer, it's a girl with her gown over her head, and he caught her in the air. And she had a son 3 years ago. He walks through. First of all, when he got here, he looked at us like he would make the hair on the back of our neck stand up. He's so in tune.
because his his
Yeah,
eyes
and
are his
yeah, he was never like lost, you know, lost in the sauce, lost in motion. Like he was just always very matter of fact in his focus and uses his body like an old person. He even says things to her and she doesn't know where he got them from. And so I believe my lineage is probably we probably have a lot of reincarnation in my lineage.
well,
And
there's gifts too.
yes.
There's gifts that we don't get to talk about,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Intuition, but also leading into mediumship and psychic
Yes.
abilities.
Abilities, dreams,
Yeah,
visions.
dreams.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep. Music. Yeah.
that'll come through even more for you. It's going to come through more, but now it has come through. But
Mhm.
now it's your time where you'll get moments to express it even more.
Ashe.
Okay, you can bring it out, express it more, and really begin to allow people to heal as you come forth as
Right. Yeah. As I keep moving, we walking. We walking.
well. Let me see here. What do we have? What do we have? What do we have? We have some people here online. I know you guys are loving this and really connected to this because you know what? I am, right?
Yes.
The thing that I think all of us want, no matter what, is to know who we are.
Yeah.
I used to say, you want to know who he is.
Yeah.
I said, we want to know. I want to know who I am. Who am I? I'll tell you one thing. I know what I am. I'm divine. I'm love. I'm joy. I'm peace.
Mhm.
I'm breath.
Mhm.
I'm okay.
Uh-huh.
Healing,
Yeah.
set free,
Yeah.
letting lack, shame, guilt, and be in this moment. Everything's okay. In this climate that we have today, also, too, you'll see and feel like that all is lost. But truthfully, my heart goes out to anyone that feels, especially people that are racist and people that are dealing with a change of life right now and they don't know it. And it's just like, it's always been this way. And I don't know. I can't, yeah, like people don't even have an idea what they do as racist. And you know what? My heart really goes out to those people. Because God, their true self, right? There's something that they need.
Yeah.
And they're going to get it. They're going to see it. They're going to feel it because they're going to have to accept it. And if they don't accept it, that's their pain.
Mhm.
Because the world around them is just going to still steadily change, still steady change, still
Yeah.
steady change.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, what is I'll ask that in a minute. There's something I want to ask you, but I'm gonna wrap it up. And what I want now is one, as you hear that too, is a lot of times I'll stop and I'll just will flow in a little meditation. But I'll allow for you to also flow in meditation. But also I want you to know is your tone in your music, your voice. You like beautiful courses. Have you heard of them?
No.
Okay. Yeah. You're gonna be blessed. I want you to look up beautiful courses. There's women that have chanting, but it's singing and it's a cappella.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
you can chant Just like we do Om, you know, Om.
Yeah.
You do that and what it's doing for the body. You can do that just with your voice, tones, frequency, and it can begin to heal people because they resonate. But take a few minutes, and I know that it may pause and stop the music, but it'll start back. But I just want to give you a moment, right? So everybody can take deep breaths and be in this moment right now. And I'm going to release you and just let you flow with it as you feel. You know, give us 60 seconds or so, minute, 2 minutes, whatever. Deep breaths.
There's so much gratitude today.
Let's go and start back.
So much gratitude flowing through our cells and our mind and our body and in the atmosphere around us. As we are witnessing a time like never before. We are experiencing an abundance of gratitude. Because as the earth has been yearning to expand and to breathe deeper and deeper, so have you and I, yearning to expand and therefore go deeper. Now is the time. Our time is upon us that we've been longing to witness. Abundance, unity, joy, peace, courage, courage to move, courage to walk, courage to be, courage to know that within that being we are already truth. And we have always been the truth that does not need any proof. Today, gratitude is within us and among us as abundance is ours. As we walk authentically in who we are and who we came to be, and how we come to exercise our power in shifting the awareness on this earthly plane. Abundance is yours. Abundance is ours. Abundance is here. Put the ego to rest. Let go of what you have not forgiven. Lay your burdens down. Accept and receive. Love, love. Love those you come in contact with. There is no time for separation. Unity will bring abundance. The time is now. The time to expand is here. And so shall it be.
Love yourself. Love yourself. Do the best you can to love yourself. One last question I have for you. I want to see if you can answer this one, because you might not be able to, but I hope you can.
Okay.
And that is, what is your Cash App?
My Cash App is $TCCAZ.
TCCAZ. Do you have a Venmo?
November.
All right. Well, we're going to have to work with this. If y'all, because right now, technically, I come from a space where I do coaching and consulting, and people get results from their coaching or consulting that we do. And a lot of us come from the church or donation space. I have this show and I put it on, and I use my livelihood to put it on. But here we go. There's her Cash App. It is $ T. We're gonna roll with it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna do $TCCAZ. Let's see what picture comes up.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the Conscious Center. So you will know it's there. There y'all go right there.
Conscious Center.
The Conscious Center. Malachi is there it is. Right. I want y'all all to see there. I'm starting the night off with $50.
Thank you, my brother.
I'm starting the night off with $50, and let's see. Let everybody go ahead and I don't want you to do what you can. I want you to do what comes to your heart. Right? Do what comes to your heart. Because I just gave my last. No, I'm joking. I didn't. It feels like it. I'm joking. I'm joking.
It's going in good ground.
I'm messing with you. Be like, everybody has to act like they, a victim in there, or they come from the bottom, or like I just don't have, so I don't have much, but which I know people don't, especially around when we start talking about church stuff. But my thing is when it comes to money, I talked to a lot of people today. John Thomas today, and I was talking, and there's something about people in the spiritual space, especially coming from church, but the spiritual space and money and how we can act a certain kind of way.
Yeah.
And the thing is when it comes to abundance and when it comes to building, like what I will do with the money that I already have, I'm sitting here with you and I'm going through this and I'm like, I want this to be alive and I want this to be a conference and I want us to
Yeah. Yeah.
us to be able to actually be everybody's in person and we having this experience, right? Because I feel it,
Yeah.
right? And connecting to it. And I feel that a lot of people, I say that there's millions and millions of people in the systems, in the churches, and it's like, how many people are needing resources? How many people are needing a place that they don't know about?
Right.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I know there's a lot, and so we have to keep building, keep growing. That's the last thing that Bishop told me is he
Yeah.
said that we just got to grow,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And that's what I was going to say too earlier is that Bishop, he had a book in his heart, right? And it was "You're Not in Trouble, You're in Transition."
Yes.
And so I've been writing some things on it because of the fact that people are in transition. I found out today some of
Mm-hmm.
the largest communities, there's multi-million dollar communities. And one of the founders, the person that made the software, she said that there's a tactic to her communities that she knows that are multi-million dollar communities where the community generates money and there's courses and there's different things and there's people, communities, some of the communities kind of run themselves because they got other people within those communities actually doing better for themselves by being in the community.
Right.
Uh,
Right.
I was watching Jay-Z run the other day, and the whole comment, it was online, it was a whole commentary was like Jay-Z's running, but when you realize who he's running with, it was a billionaire group of people running together.
Yeah.
When I think of building community, I'm thinking of building community where there's an abundance, where you come in
Yeah.
there
Yeah.
and you can feel and you can connect to
You can
abundance.
see it being walked out, not just abundance being talked about, but everybody living in the
Yeah.
truth.
Not a singular either, not just,
No, no.
not a singular where you got this one person that has
Mhm.
got all the attention,
Right.
right? No,
Right.
there's an abundance and we need this thing to flow out,
Yes.
right, into people's lives.
Yes. They should be able to see and feel what we're saying
Yes.
and not in the by and by, not later on. Yeah. Yeah.
By and by.
Yes. Not that, That would be a bye-bye, but we want resources now. We want
We
to,
want it now. What are you talking
yeah,
about?
we
Buy it
want
by with
to
more to come.
show and prove what we believe. We ought to be able to see the belief.
Thank you so much. It was a beautiful evening.
Thank you.
Um, this was great. Right now, I know that your Cash App is ringing. Right,
Yes.
I know that Cash App is
Somewhere around
ringing. Yeah,
here.
it's all right. So,
Much
uh,
gratitude
mo-
to you, my brother, and this community. More to come. That's
absolutely. The way I see it too is like when I was with Bishop and Bishop was doing fine. I said, Bishop, we got to shift this to being the, expanded consciousness. It needs to be community of communities,
uh-huh.
right? It's not just you, but it's just people with their communities. And that's when we, had different people with Christian A. Smith and
Mhm.
There's some guys that I have to have you meet in North Carolina.
Uh-huh.
Um, they have is Bishop Jamel and um, I can't Apostle Clap are together, right? So they're in North Carolina with doing expanded consciousness, right?
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so and then you got Christian and I think Archbishop John, he's in Atlanta. There's a few different people that I'm connecting to in Atlanta,
Okay.
um, including, of course, DE. He has like the expanded, no, he's doing the inclusion conference.
Right in October.
Yeah,
Yes.
he's
Are
doing
you
it.
going?
I don't know. Like, it's because I'm trying to get to it. First of all, I'm just trying to get to Atlanta to see Bishop, um, Archbishop John Lewis. But, you know, Uh, my thing is this: I have to be blunt and upfront.
Uh-huh.
I struggle in a way with something that is feeling churchy for me. I struggle with it,
I understand. I
and if it's,
understand.
and what I mean by churchy, I mean like if it's like okay, there's a speaker, and then you're gonna have music, and then
The whole, yeah.
there's a chance they might if they they may start shouting, and then
You've
they're
been
gonna
completely deprogrammed. Is it a little PTSD for you?
I think it has more to do with the fact that I'm good, but it's more to the fact that I'm just done.
I
Now,
understand.
I could be in a space like how you have the spiritual center.
Hmm.
That's just that, that's it could be different for me, but I mean, I'm not saying that it has more to do with me.
Understood.
It just has more to
I
do with me. Like
understand.
I'm already I'm already
Hey,
out there anyways. And so when I see you at the Conscious Center, I still like the music. I still like, right.
yeah, we deliberately did things differently. I mean, from music selection to, you know, meditation and even the way I speak. If I speak and someone has a question or wants to have a little dialogue, we do it right then. Like,
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So
yeah,
if you have a pulpit and you're gonna have a choir and the choir is gonna have practice and then like it's cool,
yeah,
especially for those who really like. And the thing is some people see I'm different because I never was a pastor. I was a musician. I was literally, when I say I was born in the Church of God in Christ.
yeah, understood.
And it just reached, and I went all the time, and it just reached to a point where it was like I'm 2015 was whenever I was completely, of course I was at different churches by that time, but I was just completely done with going to a church like that.
Yeah,
Like I was done.
understood.
If I think
Yeah.
about us and I think about like what we have, what we would have, it
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
definitely, I love music and I love
Yeah.
flow and I
And
love
that's the
humanity,
thing.
you know.
That's the thing. Like you don't have to be done with all of those pathways to light.
Yes.
Because that comes, and it's not going anywhere.
It's not, and there's no reason to, because if you go to a club and you hearing somebody sing some live music, you getting up and you move and it
Yeah.
has nothing to do
And
in a
it's
church,
but it's spiritual.
but it's spiritual. And so that's my vision. It is not, sorry, I went
That's
down a
the
rabbit
hey,
down a rabbit hole. So in other words, what Malachi is really saying, I ain't going to no inclusion conference.
understood. I get it. I get it. I get it. I get it. In the beginning for me, it was you in order to really be reformed, you have to
Yeah,
you
you got to go through that.
have to completely, come away from it.
Visit somebody has some, oh, we need you to, I just went to a concert and,
Yeah,
Bishop usually the one that goes to the concert.
yeah.
I'm good, visit, but I really like being able to really truly expand and know I'm expanding and I'm just not going to worship the Lord. I don't know. Let me just shut up.
Something outside of you. I got you.
Something outside of me,
I
like
get you. Yeah, and then you got the song that drives the message
I, I'm good. Like I'm good. Like I can attend even. I go to,
of unworthiness.
I love Bishop would go to All Souls, and All Souls is the church, but it's so weird. It's cool.
Yeah,
It's
I
a
get that.
Unitarian. I'm serious, and it's
No,
like
I get
Unitarian
it.
is like they might have some music and stuff, and that was a place he spoke, but yet though his message was way different, and it was just really interesting. Like it
Yeah,
was really, 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 and he enjoyed doing that because when he
yeah.
was there, he was way more expanded the way he
Hmm.
delivered and the way he talked
Right.
compared to if he had to go to the church, then he
Yeah,
could actually put on he would say it, he could put on the dog and pony show. Like, oh,
yeah.
I can go there if y'all want me to go there.
Yeah, it's the formula that
It's a,
he's talked
yes,
about
right. We
before.
talked
He
about
said, I know the
I know
formula.
the formula.
I know
And
the formula.
he goes to those places, he'd do the formula, they write the check, he'll come home, and then he's able to, you know,
Be himself.
be himself.
And that's the
Absolutely.
gift of owning yourself.
Yeah.
Once you do it, when they call you, they know what's coming.
Absolutely.
You see? So I don't have to compromise who I am because and with that you still acknowledge that there's something working
Absolutely.
within me. Yeah.
Yes.
So
Most definitely. I know, but just vision and being able to bring people together and in a live format, I think it would be uh, a wonderful experience and expression that we could all really get to just enjoy that moment and
yes,
hopefully learn and grow.
that's right.
And
That's what it's
hey, I'm
about.
thankful that we have the internet, and I'm thankful that like we're able to get some software and we're able to do this, and then everybody can
Right.
be in their own house and
Right.
you
Yeah.
know get a full on concert like you did. You know,
A little song or two ain't never hurt nobody. So
nope, it hasn't. I just because you guys, you probably won't even be able to. I'll have to do it next time. I got so much cool stuff of Bishop. Just little clips and
yeah.
things. I would just whenever I said you get to see him at home, that's the thing is like being able to see that person. And I think where it's all going, or where we can go, that really, really, really connects to people is when we have these events or these gatherings.
Uh-huh.
I'm looking to have a local gathering here this month.
Uh-huh.
And when we have those, you
Mhm.
could probably witness to it, but people are coming there and they actually like are finding where it's like, oh my God, I didn't want to do church.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And I come here
Yep.
and I feel good when I leave.
Yep.
It touches my soul.
It's uplifting. Yes.
All right, Miss Dorothy, you have to meet that's Miss Dorothy Parker, right? She is in
Hey,
Mar-
hey.
she's in Maryland, outside of uh, Maryland, Baltimore, 30 minutes from DC.
Yes, I think me and Dr. Dorothy are friends on Facebook now.
Good.
Yes.
So she has a conference. No, she's filled up her workshop, I believe.
Okay.
She filled it up and she's going to be doing, of course, she'll do another one, but that's dealing with religious deconstructing,
I
the
love it.
sacred cannabis.
I love it.
Yeah, that's is going to be really good. And I guess she has on her pajamas. She is a writer and she helps with writing. She's helping me. I'm just so busy that I can't be getting the things done. But I have a lot of her books up here.
Okay.
And you can see from her previous shows, but she helps with books too. She's really good at that.
I love that.
You know, um, but it's so good to have you. Let's see, anybody else I'm seeing who is on here. I guess Eddie Garcia wants to be deleted. I got somebody up here calling somebody a bitch. He needs bye.
Oh no.
Well, that's fine. He can leave and I can dismiss him real quick.
Yeah, we wish you wellness.
Please, we are good. All right. Making sure and no one said anything, right? No questions. We good. All right, sis. Well,
I had a blast.
we had a blast.
I am honored to have been here, and you know, we're growing, we're moving, we're expanding. It's time.
Well, let's see. It is August. So October, September, something like that. We have to
Yeah, make it happen. We'll stay plugged in.
yeah, well, no, I'm having you back before I'm
Let's
definitely
do
have
it.
you back, man. It's too soon. Maybe December. I hit the button. It was like, okay.
Okay, outro. Little outro music.
Before that, I wanted to go ahead and put this up here. Explain this to us.
Yes, this is the launch of my new course happening August 15th, From Crisis to Creating: How to Harness the Power Within Your Crisis to Create the Life You Desire. You can email for information at info@yourconsciouscoach.com. Join the waiting list. Some great information if you are having trouble navigating through a crisis and putting your life together and discovering the life that you desire after a crisis. Let me help you. It's my thing. It's what I do. It's what I came back for. It's why I could not leave. It is my life's work. I want to help you implement some of the things that I did implement after my crisis. And I say to you, I wish you wellness.
Oh, yeah. I was wondering. Sometime we'll have comments. Everybody, as they used to say, all minds clear.
Right? All hearts and minds.
Let me see. All hearts and minds clear. Hey, so I'm gonna do a test. What do you remember? Any short bit?
Tidbits.
Short bit addiction.
Oh yeah. My favorite one because it was short.
What may the Lord watch?
What I say in the one?
I said,
What, can you finish it?
wait, I say unto all,
I say unto all, what?
watch
And
pray.
pray.
What about may the Lord watch
Between me and thee.
why are we absent?
One from another. That's it. That's it. We loved them. Yeah. Yeah. COGIC kids.
COGIC kids.
Yeah.
That's why it's so interesting. And I love it. It's cool. Carlton never really did it unless some people was around him did it. But DE will go into that. Let the church say yes. And it was kind of sacred for us where it would be like, that's what are y'all doing?
Right. You don't touch that. Yeah.
You don't touch that.
Yeah, you don't touch that yes praise. No. That is designed to calm down.
Calm down. And it was, but that was true. There was certain things that was bona fide COGIC.
Yeah, for sure.
That was bona fide COGIC, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Getting everybody to calm
It
down.
is. Yeah. Yeah.
Like you talk about Sunshine Band. Get out.
Right. Ice cream choir. That's my thing. Easter speech. Come on.
Did you see?
That you had to have.
Did you?
Had to have. And it's, again, that's probably why we talk the way we talk now. Because it's like, get up. Get up.
Oh.
It served its purpose.
You seen the Easter speech? I thought I could find it. You see the Easter speech with the little boy, and he was saying, and he took the microphone and he said, "I'm done with this church."
Yes. Yep.
No, I'm tired. He took the microphone.
I'm tired.
I'm tired of this church.
Yeah, it was unexpected. They didn't expect him to go forth like that. But he was speaking.
He was speaking. He probably sitting there hungry.
Probably his 5th service.
He's been there, and yet he like, I'm tired of this
homework.
church.
Yeah, he got homework. He probably had just woke up too.
He was a little boy. Like, I'm tired of this church.
Tired.
All right.
It's
beautiful.
Something.
I appreciate you for your time and everything.
I appreciate you.
I'm pretty sure everybody was tapped in, tuned in, and loved this show. So
I enjoyed myself and looking forward to what's to come.
Absolutely.
Much gratitude to you, my brother. Let's stay plugged in.
Absolutely. I'll end this, and if you want, we can come back real quick and
okay.
Seal it up. All right, bye. Y'all
all right.
have a good one. All right, bye-bye.
Okay.